Alice later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And often talk about the evolution of our economy. And I may say, hey, this is moving in one direction, or it might be the end of movie theaters, or it might be the end of record stores. And it's usually abstract. But with this recent news about Macy's closures, we can put a pin in what we have known to be shopping malls. They are officially on the other side of dying. They are circling the drain. They're having their last gasp. This is what I mean. You may remember that Macy said in late February that it plans to close about 150 of its locations by 2027. Now, that's about 25% of the company's gross square footage, about 1/4 of everything that it owns, but less than 10% of its sales. In other words, it's a drag on their business to keep all these physical locations open. But these Macy's locations, more times than not, are what they call anchor stores. They are the big box retailer at a shopping mall. Let's go back in history. And I think, Mark, and I want to pull you in on this because you coming from the Midwest or having a lot of time living in the Midwest, you'll know about this. I remember when I was growing up and going to Detroit, Michigan specifically, they would have different markets. You'd have a meat market. You'd have your milk delivered. And you'd get all these things from different locations. And then, and I would say in the early 1970s, you had the evolution, and I would say the spread of supermarkets. You go to one place and you would find all these things. You could buy your milk. You could buy your milk. You could meat. You could buy all these items because it was under one roof.
Yeah, you used to have to go to the butcher shop.
Yes.
When you had like a main street and people had specialized things.
Especially in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Similarly, the whole idea of a shopping mall was, instead of having a business here where you could buy dresses, or a business there where you can buy men's clothes, or you could buy housing goods, the whole idea of a shopping mall is you would have this one location where all these stores could come together, and you would not have to divide all your foot traffic and have people go to different locations around the city. They could just come to one physical location. The whole idea of a supermarket and a shopping mall, not all that different. With the exception of the shopping mall has been replaced where you can have the online shopping mall. You can get everything in one place. Call it Amazon, call it eBay, whatever. You don't need to go to a physical location to shop. Like, for example, in the past month, I bought 2 or 3 pairs of pants, a pair of shoes, different dress shirts, and I never needed to leave my house. And it was easy. I knew what I wanted, a few clicks, done. I didn't have to drive to Del Amo Mall or any other mall. I saved the gas, I saved the time, and I didn't have to cut into my work day to do it. The convenience is what is killing the mall. The flip side is when you have these anchor stores, going back to the Macy's story, when you have the anchor stores leaving, there's really even less reason to go to a shopping mall, because if there's no anchor store, what am I going for? I don't know, 21 Forever? Am I going for the Gap, Banana Republic? Why would I go to a shopping mall now, especially when you don't have that big box retailer, which was bringing in the most amount of people? You would go for a Nordstrom. You would go for a Macy's. Back in the day, it was Bullock's. It was Woolworth. It was Sears. Sears is gone now. So you don't have those big box retailers. Let me get back to this, because we can point at this moment that shopping malls are going to be no more in the near future. Macy's is selling off a lot of its real estate because they want to make it available for real estate development, where they could have construction of a medical building or a retirement community, or as a grocery store, which I was talking about, because grocery stores are not going to go out of style anytime soon. In fact, you need more grocery stores than what you have, depending on where you live. In certain parts of the city, like where I live, there are very few grocery stores, and there are opportunities for there to be more grocery stores.
And they close early, too.
Yes, or in my neighborhood, at least they do. They don't stay open till 1 a.m. Let me give you some math. Macy's has closed more than a third of its stores over the last 10 years. As of May, we're just talking about 2-3 months ago, Macy's had 503 stores, okay? More than a third have already been closed. Now let's talk about malls. And they usually divide up malls into class A, B, C, and D. It has to do with occupancy rates and size. So, A is biggest and so forth. There were 352 shopping malls classified as A and B at the end of 2016. 352. That fell to 316 by the end of 2022. And that's before Macy's closed a lot of their stores. And Macy's is just about connected to every mall. It's rare that you'll see just a Macy's and nothing around it. That's the A and B size shopping malls. Now go to class C and D shopping malls. There were 684 of them in 2016. In 2022, and this is not now, I'm saying 2022, it fell from 684 to 287. About 2/3 maybe. They're not coming back. How we shop is not going to change. You're not going to be able to beat the internet because now we have a full generation, if not more, of people who are comfortable buying everything online. I remember when the online revolution started, I said, there's no way in the world I would ever buy a pair of shoes or clothes online because I need to be able to try it on. I need to see how it feels on my body. I need to be able to have that tactile moment where I can see is this material something I want on my body. Now it's like, I can't wait to get home to buy something online. I'm not going to take time out of my day and drive somewhere.
You need to ask the person who works there in the clothing section if those pants make your ass look big.
No, I know they make my ass look good. I don't need that. They got the mirror.
Little pear-shaped.
Yeah. But also, and I don't know if it's true with you. With me, when I'm shopping, I actually want to deal with fewer people.
Well, and you want to avoid their humiliating gaze when you buy something that maybe you're a little embarrassed of.
No. I don't buy my thongs in public.
Okay.
But my point is, I would rather I know what I want. I don't need help other than just pointing to the changing room if I'm physically in your presence. I don't want to go through the whole interaction. I don't want to be bothered. I just want to get my stuff and go. And the easiest way for me to get my stuff and go is to just buy it online. I'm a big Nike guy. I don't need to go to the Nike store. I can go to the Nike app. I can go to the Nike website and get exactly what I want. I know my shoe size. If I need an accessory, it's right there. Why do I need to drive to a Nike outlet store? It's not necessary. And it'll get to me in 24 hours in most instances, maybe 2 days. But usually if I buy something, I can wait. If I buy something today and it gets here on Friday or Saturday, good enough.
But if you don't travel to a mall and walk around in it, where is your chance of being involved in a mass shooting? Where's your sense of sporting?
Well, then there's that. We live in a society today, you have to take other things into consideration. And I'm not real big on big crowds anymore.
Or hooligans.
Yeah. Well, see, that's something else. I every time I go out, I see young people doing something that I really, really can't stand. And I don't want to deal with that when I'm in a mall. If they're running through the mall, acting like a-holes or bothering people, I'm the one I can't keep my mouth shut.
You're no Billy Jack. You know that, right?
Look, that's a great movie. And that's one of the first uses of Hapkido in a movie.
One of the first mainstream uses outside of the Green Hornet of any kind of martial art.
Yeah. So I'm at that point in life where I don't feel like interacting with a-holes and going to a shopping mall that increases the likelihood of doing that. So it's easier just to do my shopping at home. I don't have to deal with all the inconveniences of it. I don't have to deal with the lines. I don't have to deal with the inappropriate interactions with the salesperson. Hi, are you getting that for your wife today? No, I'm getting it for my mistress. Well, what's with all the personal questions? You don't need to ask that. Or they'll say, you looking something for your wife today? No, I just like to look at underwears for women. That's all. Just stop asking questions. I don't like being asked questions when I'm shopping. That's all.
So shopping online is better for misanthropy.
Correct.
Okay, good.
It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. When we come back, we have so much more to talk about with Mark Ronner's life. That's all I'm going to say.
No.
No?
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, Mr. Mo Kelly, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And Mark Ronner was talking about the movie Billy Jack. I love, if there's anything cool about getting older, it's going back and watching movies that you might have seen 20, even 30 years ago. They're like brand new movies because you're a different person. You may have different life experiences. You can relate to the movie differently. I enjoyed, for example, Enter the Dragon much more in my 40s than I did my teens.
Masterpiece.
Yeah.
Robert Klaus, the director. Yeah.
You
wonderful.
can appreciate the subtleties, some of the cinematography, the filming techniques, the lensing,
The music, Lalo Schifrin.
right? All of those things. So you mentioned like Billy Jack, and that has a connection to my art because Bong Soo-han, the late
Master Bong Soo-han, yes.
He used to have a Hapkido studio in Santa Monica. He was a legend here in Los Angeles. And my first master I studied under, Master Taeman Kwan, was very, very close with him. And so when we would have tests, sometimes he would come through. So be able to see him is like Billy Jack, Bong Soo-han. He was the one in martial arts circles who I would say exposed the United States to the art of Hapkido.
Oh, yeah. In
Also,
fact, did you see Bong Soo-han in Force 5?
Yes.
Yes.
And if you've seen Bruce Lee's Game of Death, there's a master, Jaehan Ji, who is the grandmaster of my original master, Master Kwan. He fights Master Ji. Bruce Lee fights Master Ji before he fights Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Master Ji has his white and gold lame uniform. And people were looking at Hapkido and they didn't even know it's the throws and the joint locks. So, when you say Billy Jack, it reminds me of kind of how and why I got into Hapkido and so why I'm high on the martial art. And I was talking yesterday, and I'll tell you about it all this week, about this open house that we're having at my studio at Songs Hapkido in Culver City. You can go to my Instagram. You can go to my Facebook page. You can sign up there. We're doing a free class for both kids and adults. I'll be teaching. People ask me, it's like, Mo, what is it you do? Want to hear more about your martial arts? Well, you're going to see me in action actually teaching a kids class, an adults class. If you're curious for yourself as an adult, if you're curious for your kids, and I say kids, that's anyone under the age of 17, come on out, take a class. It's free. We're not trying to sell you anything. We're just trying to expose you to something. And, there's so much that you can learn from traditional martial arts that you can take with you in life. It's not about just learning how to fight. No, it's about self-defense, which is something completely different. It's something that you can take with you every single day, everywhere you go. Your mindset, your breathing, your managing of emotions is great for kids to learn how goal setting, learn discipline and consistency. Highly recommend. We'll be doing these classes. I should say I'll be doing these special classes this Saturday from 8:50 a.m. to 11:50 a.m. You can get all the information on my different Instagrams at Mr. Mo Kelly, at Later with Mo Kelly. You can sign yourself up, sign your kids up. We just want to know how many people are coming because there are 2 sessions. So we need to know how many kids, how many adults. And it's really, really easy. It's not pretentious. I don't want you to feel intimidated by any of it. It's just an easy way and a free way to expose you to something I love with all my heart. And it's something that I'm going to do as long as my body allows me to do it, which will hopefully be the rest of my life. So, Mark, when you said Billy Jack, it just triggered all these memories and associations where people see a lot of Hapkido in movies, they just don't recognize it. There's certain moves, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, that's definitely Hapkido, and it's just someone is just doing it, not actually giving attribution.
Those movies are so good. I love, The Born Losers was the first one, and I love that one so much that I actually wrote a Vampirella 1969 story based on The Born Losers, except putting Vampirella, this scantily clad vampire character into the role of the female motorcyclist who's chased down, but she turns the table on him at the end. Those movies are so wonderful.
Yeah, I love watching them, and it's not the best as far as cinematography. It's not the best because a lot of them were made on shoestring budgets.
They're indie movies, yeah. Tom Laughlin made those, and they made a phenomenal, superhuman amount of money.
Yes, they did.
Playing around the country on the drive-in circuit, that sort of thing. He phenomenally rich with those.
So can't get enough of them. And I said all that to say, when I go home probably tonight and into this weekend, I'll probably revisit a lot of those movies. They bring about great memories, but also it was a great time in cinema history. I don't think that we'll have a golden age of those films anymore. You'll have certain actors who will do movies here and there. You'll have a John Wick, and they'll have martial arts in them, but to have an actual martial arts movie, they don't do those anymore, unfortunately.
Well, they're all kind of straight to video Scott Adkins type things these days. And Scott Adkins, by the way, is terrific.
Yep.
But you don't have, I remember when Jet Li really had a good string of big budget A-list martial arts movies. You don't really get that anymore.
The closest thing we've seen to it is maybe Donnie Yen in the Ip Man series most recently, and those are fantastic.
They're really well made,
Yes.
and he is a terrific star. But he's aging out of it, unfortunately.
He is, and unfortunately, there are some physical limitations. Like, you're not going to have Jackie Chan doing anything anymore in a physical sense. So I don't know. Everything is cyclical. Maybe it'll come back in 10, 15 years or so. But again, come out and see us at Songs Hapkido 4354 Sepulveda Boulevard in Culver City this Saturday. I'll be teaching a kids and adults class free. Just sign up on my Instagram or Facebook at Mr. Mo Kelly, at Later with Mo Kelly. Would love to see you and expose you to something that I love with all my heart. It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI Mo Kelly, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And speaking of KFI is sending you and a friend to Las Vegas for the 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One. It happens September 20th and 21st at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage. You'll see live performances by Dua Lipa, Doja Cat, Gwen Stefani, Keith Urban, and more. You can buy your tickets now at AXS.com. Get them now before they sell out. They will sell out. Keep listening to KFI for your chance to win 2 tickets to both nights of the festival. A 2-night hotel stay at an MGM Resorts destination and a $200 gas card to get you there and back. Show off your poolside. Only with MGM Rewards. Visit MGMRewards.com for details. That's the iHeart Music Festival coming up soon. And something else, as I switch gears, we talk about streaming, we talk about cool things to watch on streaming, but let's not get lost in the content. It's also about the content delivery. I used to have DirecTV back in the day. This is pre-streaming. This is when they charge you $200 a month. This is when they had that big-ass satellite dish to put outside your window. And if you're living in an apartment, it was not always easy to get DirecTV. But back then, I want to say in the early 2000s, it was the gold standard when it came to cable/satellite. DirecTV. It was supposed to be the best. Supposed to be the most reliable. It was neither. It was the most expensive. That's what it was. And I left DirecTV for 2 reasons. One, they had these plans. They'd lock you in for all these channels. They had maybe 3 tiers, but they were ridiculous. All these channels that you would never watch. And I think personally, DirecTV helped usher in the streaming era. Be able to have a la carte TV because of corporations like DirecTV. And after a while, I couldn't pay $200 a month for all these things. When I say $200, you're paying for the programming, and then you're also paying for the set-top boxes, or at least back then you were. You'd have a box in every room that had a TV. I had, 3 rooms with TVs. I'd like to be able to have satellite in every single room. I don't think that was strange, but it was expensive. And then this was at the advent of the DVR, which was another set-top box that you had to pay for. Physical equipment. And so the prices were the cost each month was getting astronomical. Then you had the streaming revolution. And then companies like DirecTV were very slow to change course. And they lost a lot of subscribers like me, and they lost a lot of money. Now DirecTV has seen the light, and they're transforming into, say it with me, a streaming service. Thanks to people just like me. I did this all by myself. I built that. Satellite dish will no longer be needed for DirecTV. In a significant branding move, or I should say a rebranding move, DirecTV is now positioning itself as a streaming service thanks to Mo Kelly. Well, he doesn't say that, but I'm just going to put myself in there. Eliminating the need for a satellite dish to access its content. The company is launching a new ad campaign to communicate this change to its customers. And DirecTV is promoting its pay TV bundle, and that doesn't need a dish. The company, traditionally known for offering TV bundles via satellite dishes, has started a new ad campaign called For the Birds. That sounds really bad. The campaign is designed to emphasize DirecTV's transformation into a streaming company. Well, welcome to 2017. Glad you could make it. Streaming has been here a while, and DirecTV says, ha, we're all new. We have streaming. Well, thank you. I've had streaming for the past, 12, 13 years, as long as I've been at KFI. And DirecTV says, we're now streaming. But anyhow. But of course, DirecTV and other traditional cable providers, I know DirecTV satellite, but I'm saying they were losing subscribers. They were losing customers to streaming services because who wants to be shackled to a satellite dish to get your content? And for a while, I know DirecTV was experimenting with a streaming option. And then they realized, well, why don't we just go streaming the whole way? And so they figured out, they caught up to the rest of us. And now this is what they said, quote, we built this as an alternative. We know that 80% of people prefer not to put the dish on the side of their house. Yes.
What? I thought that was supposed to be some kind of fancy status symbol.
It was in 1994.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing? I can literally look at every one of my channels on my phone, on my tablet, on a TV. I can look at it on my phone and cast it to my TV. I don't need a satellite. And obviously when, it starts raining or there's a thunderstorm, it interferes with the satellite signal. It was so far behind. I'm really surprised it took DirecTV this long to get with. We always talk about how companies are slow to evolve. You can talk about like the Thomas Map guy. They couldn't figure out that GPS was coming. You could talk about Motorola phones. They couldn't get with smartphones. They couldn't keep up with their own industry. DirecTV couldn't keep up with its own industry. Streaming is not new, and everyone was leaving for streaming on some level. On some level. Maybe you didn't have live TV like you, Mark Ronner, but you had different streaming services.
If you're casing a neighborhood to decide which homes to rob, what are you going to do now if people don't have the satellite dishes up?
Well, you have to know that if they have a satellite dish up, they're probably way behind the time. They don't have a smart TV.
Yeah, it's upside down now.
Yeah.
You want to avoid the ones with the satellite dishes.
Right.
They're not going to have a Rolex for you to steal.
But you're right. Back in the day, it was a status symbol. It's like, oh, DirecTV, because everyone knew that was premium. You're paying more money than the other cable companies. No, we all have cable. We have satellite. And remember, DirecTV had that very cool ad campaign. It's like, don't be a so-and-so. You'd have like a Peyton Manning and someone else. Peyton Manning was cool. Cable wasn't cool. And they had that long, I have to look up the ad.
Was it like Dane Cook? Who was the uncool?
Yeah, I can't remember. But I'm saying it was like, satellite is cool. Cable is uncool. And it's like, no, you are not cool. None of it is cool. They were just behind the times, and they didn't realize that the world had moved on to streaming a long time ago. And it's funny, now they want to rebrand and reposition itself as a streaming entity when the horse has already left the barn. Thank you. You owe me some thanks for this, DirecTV. I tried to tell you back in the late 90s, early 2000s, but you didn't want to listen. You did not want to listen. You're welcome, though. It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And when we come back, I'll tell you about Captain EO. If you're an Angelino, if you're from Southern California, you remember seeing Captain EO, that video, I'll say, it's not really a ride, but it's an experience that they had at Disneyland. I loved it. I was sad when they took it away, and I think they took it away. Well, actually, I know they took it away in part because of some of the issues surrounding Michael Jackson, when it was most problematic.
Awkward.
Yeah, you have that juxtaposition of Michael Jackson, his court issues in Disneyland. Captain EO had to go. Well, we have an update, and it's a Star Wars update, believe it or not. That's next.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And depending on your age, you may not remember Captain EO, which was an attraction at Disneyland. It was a 17-minute movie, and Captain EO, Michael Jackson's character, he is traveling through the galaxy to transform the Supreme Leader, who was played by Angelica Houston, if I remember correctly, back to her true self, and as a result, save the galaxy. This is a little bit of Captain EO. It's a 17-minute movie.
Who is it? Hey, I told you I'd find her.
Infidel.
Infidel?
You infect my world with your presence. Turn the others into trash cans.
See you later, trash can.
And for him, 100 years of torture in my deepest dungeon.
Your Highness, my loyal companions and I accept these punishments.
We do?
Of course we do. He's our captain.
Speak for yourself.
But we have come here uninvited and unannounced.
So, then we both admit to your stupidity. Why have you come?
To bring a gift, Your Highness. To someone as beautiful as you.
He's not all that intimidating.
Think me beautiful?
Very beautiful within, Your Highness, but without a key to unlock it. And that is my gift to you.
So, let me see the gift.
On his
Your
shoulder,
Highness.
on his shoulder is a little fuzzy character, and his name is Fuzzball. It's the titular character in that he's real instrumental in saving Captain EO and saving the universe. But in the recently released trailer by Disney at the D23 festival, there is a new show coming out called Skeleton Crew, which is in the Star Wars universe. And Fuzzball, who is in Captain EO, is in Skeleton Crew, which makes everything which happens in Skeleton Crew canon. And for all the people who like connectivity, Michael Jackson is a part of Star Wars now.
I got her! Hurry up and fix it, Boomer!
Send him to my dungeon. I got it.
It was funky. They had pop locking, break dancing, the classic moves of Michael Jackson. It was very cool back in the late 80s, 1990s. And then, you know, it all fell apart when Michael's career fell apart because of his other stuff.
You probably want to keep him away from the kid in the Phantom Menace, right? Oh, yeah, like I'm the jerk for bringing this up, as opposed to the people who did it and covered it up.
Look, I'm just talking about Captain EO.
Okay.
I'm just talking about why it was at Disneyland and then it was removed from Disneyland. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So Michael Jackson, Captain EO, is a part of Star Wars canon. He's in the same universe as Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Chewbacca, and yeah, Jake Lloyd, Anakin Skywalker. The kid. Yeah, same universe. Before we go to break, I was saying last segment about DirecTV and how DirecTV had this. It was funny, this campaign talking about you want to be cool like DirecTV, not uncool like cable. And I remember thinking at the time, DirecTV is not cool. It's way behind the times. You may remember it.
Hi, I'm Peyton Manning, and I have DirecTV.
And I'm really high voice Peyton Manning, and I have cable.
Only DirecTV lets you watch NFL Sunday Ticket games live on all your devices.
With cable, I can't do that. It's like,
I get to take all the games with me.
I sing with the Four Tunesmen. Downtown ladies sing this song, doo-dah.
Don't be like this, me. Get NFL Sunday Ticket only on DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
It wasn't cool then. It wasn't cool. It was a funny commercial, but the whole idea of DirecTV being cool is like, don't you see where all this is going? No one wants to pay $200 just to have satellite.
Yeah, but didn't you, Mo, seek to emulate Peyton Manning when you were young? Wasn't he a role model of yours?
No, he wasn't. He was actually, during the prime of his career, he was well into my adulthood. He's younger than me.
I see. Oh, oops.
Not Archie Manning. This is Peyton, his
all
son.
right, well, hard to keep track. What do you want?
I think he's like mid-40s now, something like that.
Oh, way younger.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Mark. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
Indifference Therapy. KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live every